Hi, I'm Will,
Heather.
and welcome to the Movie Files.
Tony, if someone dies on your watch, you don't give up.
Who said we're giving up?
We are for not taking responsibility for our actions. This document just shifts the blame.
I'm sorry, Steve, that is dangerously arrogant. This is the United Nations we're talking about. It's not the World Security Council. It's not SHIELD. It's not Hydra.
No, but it's run by people with agendas, and agendas change.
That's good. That's why I'm here. When I realized what my weapons were capable of in the wrong hands, I shut it down, stopped manufacturing.
Tony, you chose to do that. If we sign this, we surrender our right to choose. What if this panel sends us somewhere we don't think we should go? What if there's somewhere we need to go and they don't let us? We may not be perfect, but the safest hands are still our own.
If we don't do this now, it's going to be done to us later.
So, Captain America Civil War. Captain America Civil War is the third and presumably final Captain America movie, at least with Chris Evans as Captain America. Now, Chris Evans still has one more Marvel movie on his contract, and that is going to be Avengers Infinity War. And after that, who knows what's going to happen with the character or with the Marvel Universe. After Avengers Infinity War, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor are all no longer obligated to any more Marvel movies. So it'll be interesting to see where they go forward after that. This movie actually also leaves a lot of questions that'll be interesting to see how they move forward going into another Avengers movie. Captain America Civil War is based on the 2007 miniseries Civil War, written by Mark Millar and illustrated by David McNiven. And it is basically the story of a falling out between Captain America and Iron Man over government protocols that would grant more control over the activities of the Avengers to the government, and not just the government, but to the United Nations. Captain America obviously is against the government taking over the Avengers. Iron Man, for different reasons, is for it. And like I said, this leads to a falling out between them. Cap and his Avengers versus Iron Man and his Avengers. What did you think?
There was people that came out of nowhere that you didn't expect. Well, I didn't expect because I don't sit there and read everything like he does. So
Like
he
who?
probably wasn't surprised. Well, I expected Captain America, Iron Man. I figured, what's her name? The redhead was going to be
Black
in
Widow.
it. Yeah, I figured she was going to be in it. It's not surprising that the Olsen twins' sister was in it. The Arrow guy, he was in it. So that's not exactly surprising. You probably told me these people were going to be in it, but I didn't remember. I didn't expect Ant-Man to be in it. You probably told me, but I don't remember. So he told me who was going to be on whose team, but I don't remember. And then when we got there, I expected the two main people. I expected Bucky was going to be there because Bucky's the reason why he's on the other team. I expected that. And I didn't know anything about the guy in the cat suit either.
Black Panther.
Yeah. I thought his name was that, but I didn't know. And, but yeah, so there were surprises, but then there was things that was like, no, that's not that surprising. It was a lot of graphics and stuff like that, which you'd expect from a movie like this. And yeah, there was people that popped up that, you didn't expect, but then when they showed up, it wasn't surprising. And I didn't know that she was their sister either, the Olsen twins' sister, until he pointed it out. And then this movie I was paying attention, and I'm like, oh yeah, it does look like one of them with red hair.
Well, Captain America Civil War, while it does feature a lot of Avengers, it is a sequel to Captain America the Winter Soldier. Very much so a sequel to that movie. which in turn was very much a sequel to Captain America the First Avenger. I feel like the Captain America movies have done the best job at being a cohesive storyline. And what I mean by that is Iron Man 3 was really felt more like the Avengers The Aftermath. And the same thing a little bit with Thor The Dark World, that felt much more like Avengers The Aftermath. Whereas Captain America The Winter Soldier really did carry on from the first Captain America movie, and you did get more of those World War II flashbacks, and it really was, the sequel to Captain America, even though it did acknowledge that the Avengers had happened in between. The same thing with this. Obviously, it acknowledges that Age of Ultron happened. It acknowledges that, that Ant-Man is out there. But it very much picks up not so much where Age of Ultron left off, but a lot more where The Winter Soldier left off. And I thought that was quite enjoyable. Like I said, these Captain America movies are the most like a single film series. So what did you think of Spider-Man?
They made a big deal that he was a kid. They kept making fun of that in different things. They made fun of him being poor and his outfit sucking. And they were pointing out how smart he was. He wasn't as smart mouthed as he should be. He talked a lot, but he wasn't as smart as he should be, like smart mouthed. Usually he's mouthy. He wasn't that mouthy, but he did talk a lot. So yeah, I didn't expect him. And Hulk wasn't in it. I wasn't sure if he was going to be on it or not, and he wasn't in this movie. So Ant-Man was surprising. Hulk wasn't in it. That was a letdown. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Hulk, not Ant-Man. I was like, at first I was like, who the frick is that guy? And then, like, he started doing something, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. I didn't remember who he was.
Well, you watch enough Friends, you should have at least been like, oh, he was from Friends. Because Ant-Man was in Friends.
Yeah, actually, I was watching that thinking of Friends, but most people wouldn't know that.
Yeah, I think he dated Monica.
Phoebe.
Was it Phoebe?
Yeah, he dated Phoebe. Like, his parents were rich, stuck-up snobs. Yeah.
I don't watch Friends.
I do.
Well, I really enjoyed Spider-Man. I really enjoyed Tom Holland's portrayal of Spider-Man. I wasn't real excited that they're going back to the teenager thing again, because it's like, Peter Parker in high school was this much of his publication history. And this much of it was he was, a 20-something, a young adult, a college student mostly, and then moved on to being a grad student, and then moved on to, now he's a college professor or high school teacher or something. And, Spider-Man is one of the few comic book characters that actually has progressed and grown ever so slightly older. He was 15 when the comic book started, and now he's like in his 30s. So, he's the one comic book character that has progressed considerably. And the movies just want to leave him in high school, and I think that's boring and stupid. We've seen Peter Parker in high school. We saw it in the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. We saw it in in both of the Amazing Spider-Mans, really. I don't need to see it again. And with, especially with the title of the next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, which I think is terrible. I think that's a terrible title. I get the feeling that they're going to make it into a Disney Channel original movie featuring Spider-Man, Spider-Man, High School Musical. I don't want to see that. So, I really hope they don't go that way with it, but I really feel like they are, and, I don't want that, but whatever.
Is May going to be in it?
Probably. And that's another thing, okay? Marissa Tomei, I love her. She's a great actress. She's really funny. Aunt May should not be hot. It's just... Aunt May in this movie is a cougar, and Tony Stark makes many comments about how hot she is throughout the little bit of scenes that you get with her. That's not Aunt May. I'm sorry. Aunt May should not be, she should not look like Marissa Tomei. She just shouldn't. She's supposed to look much more like Peter's grandmother, and I don't know. I just that bothered me. Now, Spider-Man overall, I loved him. I thought he was great, but those few things, really bothered me throughout the movie, especially Aunt May. What does that look for?
I don't look at her and sit there and think cougar. I just think I like that actress. I've never thought of her like that. But I do think that she does look too young for the part. It is supposed to, by what the other movies are like, by the way you talk about things, she seems to be somebody that should look like Mrs. Doubtfire, the actual Mrs. Doubtfire in the movie. Like, she should look something like that, like she does in, I think it's the first movie that she's in. That they have when Spider-Man.
It's too bad that Robin Williams has passed on, because then you could get Robin Williams to play Aunt May.
But she should look something like that, not younger. I mean, she probably is old enough to be having a teenager, because she probably is.
Sure,
in her 30s.
she's in her 50s. Okay, so I get that she is, technically old enough, but she doesn't look the part. She looks too, she's too hot. She's too hot.
Well, the last
Aunt May
one was too young looking to me too, because
Aunt May
the whole time I saw her, I was thinking she looked too young too, but she was a good Aunt May.
Her only thing in The Amazing Spider-Man, Sally Field's only thing was that she still had dark hair. She didn't have gray hair, but she's still very old. And she still played off that, that grieving widow, Aunt May, type. Marissa Tomei doesn't do that. Okay, Spider-Man says in the movie that he's been Spider-Man, or that he's had his powers for 6 months. Okay? So Uncle Ben presumably hasn't even been dead a year yet. And honestly, she looked like she wanted to rip Tony Stark's clothes off while he was sitting there talking to her on the couch. Like, she was giving Tony Stark the eyes. You saw that, right?
I didn't notice these things.
She was giggling and she was flirting with Iron Man the whole time they were sitting there talking.
I guess that's true. I mean, she seemed to be friendly, but I wasn't really paying that much attention to that. I was trying to figure out who she was.
She wasn't friendly. She wanted the Iron D, I'm telling you. I'm looking forward to see what they do with Spider-Man. Like I said, I hope they don't turn it into, Spider-Man meets High School Musical. Overall, I thought the movie was great. It is very slow in the beginning, but so was Batman v Superman. There's a lot of character building and story building at the beginning of the movie. That's another thing. The comparisons to Batman v Superman are really, the two movies are so similar in so many ways. And, it really kind of, pisses me off that people are out there, oh, Batman v Superman is garbage, but Civil War is amazing. Honestly, they're much more similar than they are different. And Civil War doesn't have any strengths in it that Batman v Superman didn't have. They are very close to even movies. But I would give the slight edge to Batman v Superman, but they're very close, they're very even movies. So what would you give Civil War out of 4?
Comparing Superman and the Superman-Batman movie and the Civil War movie, I'd probably like the Superman one better, too, just because I like Ben Affleck.
Affleck was amazing.
Yeah. But I also like Captain America. He's good, too. And so is Tony Stark. I like him, too. I like his movies, too. But yeah, probably Superman above Civil War. Out of 4, I'm not sure, because there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of special effects, there's a lot of things going on. There's people in the movie that I like. There's a lot of those things going on, but it's also, one of those movies that you go to, see fighting, see things blown up, see all those type of things. So when you compare it to that, maybe a 3. I'm not going to give it a 4 because it's not perfect. I don't know what perfect is, but that you can't say something's perfect.
Well, I don't even. I mean, I'm not even gonna give it a 4 either. And I didn't even give Batman v Superman a 4. I gave Batman v Superman a 3.5 because it definitely had its flaws. They just weren't very many. And the same thing with this movie. It definitely has its flaws. There aren't very many of them. It is a very good movie, but I would probably also give it a 3 out of 4, just because it doesn't quite reach the level that Batman v Superman did for me. I mean, Batman v Superman was a fantastic movie, and this is a very, very good movie, but it's just not at that level. But definitely go see it. It's definitely worth watching. It's definitely worth watching again. It's definitely worth watching 100 times. I mean, it was a great movie, and the dynamic between Iron Man and Captain America was great. It really was a wonderful movie. So yeah, definitely go see it.
And everybody's gonna start saying the last thing that what's his name said. The guy that writes the stuff.
Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a very, very funny joke with Stan Lee. I'm not going to give it away, but there's a very funny joke with Stan Lee, and it's not really Stan Lee's joke. It's how another character reacts to Stan Lee's joke and what Stan Lee says. That makes the scene, just really funny. There are a lot of really good scenes in this movie.
Like wanting to punch perfect teeth out.
Yeah, which, I mean, is all over the trailer. And that's another thing about this movie. I've noticed that what's in the movie that's in the trailer, a lot of times in the movie it's an alternate take than what was in the trailer. A different angle, a different inflection in the way the line is said, a different delivery. The scenes that you've seen in the trailer are slightly different in the movie, which I thought was good, but in a lot of ways, I found myself in a couple of parts going, man, I like the delivery in the trailer better than the delivery that they used in the actual movie. And the same thing with that perfect teeth line. It's the angle is off when Tony Stark says that, because in the trailer it's right at him, it's a tight shot, and he just has that look on his face where you really believe he really does want to punch Captain America right in the mouth. And in the movie it's more of a wide shot from the side, and you don't really get that, that expression from Tony Stark, that just smug little, and you get the sense that he wants to punch Captain America, but at the same time you just want to freaking punch Iron Man right in the face because he's just so smug. That shot that they used for that in the trailer was great, and I thought it was a little disappointing, the take that they chose to use in the actual movie. But those are our thoughts. Let us know what yours are in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Bye! Hi everyone. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, subscribe, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and make sure you head on over to TheBlaze and check out my weekly column where I do movie reviews and general Hollywood industry commentary. You can find the links for all those things in the description below. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.